Okay, so I'm fixing to take you on a garden ramble, which I already did, but as you can see, I've been outside in the sun today, sunning. I had to take my handy dandy they can find me if I get down button because as you know, my disorder affects my organs, my legs. It's like MS, but way worse. And so while I feel okay today, my back and legs are a little wonky, and I know not to push it. I know not to push it, but I wanted to take a ramble to the garden, see if a lot of my seed heads are ready to harvest, check the last of my blooms, and just double check and make sure the husband got everything out of the garden. He did not. But I also want to take a moment at the end of this video and talk about the trolls that are coming out as I share my Mounjaro journey. And it's something that I think a lot of people that are sharing their Mounjaro journeys are running into. I think a lot of people take way too much, they just absorb way too much emotionally from people that don't even have the balls to show their face or name on the internet. I think it's more important to share your story, share your journey, share your opinions, especially about a big step like this. When I was injured, I was injured at work. I had a young man throw an axe at me. I worked at a wilderness boot camp for juvenile prisoners, basically. We were felling timber to build cabins, and he threw the axe at me. And I didn't prosecute him because he would have gone to prison as an adult. I couldn't do that to him. He'd only been with us for about 3 weeks. He had not invested himself in the program. He's doing good now, by the way. He's now 37 and doing great and a father. But that started 7 years of like 4 or 5 surgeries. And almost 10 years before I got a diagnosis. And after that, I had to do physical therapy, kind of learn how to walk again with all that was wrong with my foot and leg and knee and hip. And it started spreading to my organs. And when it started spreading to my organs, they finally realized, oh, you have reflex sympathetic dystrophy. So no one had told me what I had until it started to spread. Well, then I'm, the window is like 6 to 12 months to reverse nerve damage issues. I was 6.5, 7 years in at that point. It was not going to be reversed. I was just going to have to deal with it. So I started handling a lot of the issues that came with this disorder. They kept trying to fix it with surgeries and steroids, which did nothing but cause more aggravation, more swelling, more weight gain. So after many specialists, neurologists, and orthopedic groups, I finally kind of got a good team together that said we can't do surgeries unless they're absolutely life-saving, because she needs these other medicines after surgeries which actually amplify the issues and cause more weight gain and cause more bad than good. Now, I used to be a big old Amazon weight powerlifting heifer. I mean, I'm a big old burly woman, but I've always been a weightlifter, a power lifter, and a big old farm girl. So I've never had this much weight on me, and I don't like it. So once they figured out we can't correct this surgically, I said, okay, then stop. And I started trying to lose weight. I lost about 35 pounds on my own, and then the scale stopped. I got to about 40, and the scale stopped. And I was frustrated. And my doctor kept saying, try this medication. But as many of you have also witnessed, there are some horror stories about Mounjaro out there. And I was scared. And so I waited for several months until I knew that scale was not going to move anymore. No, because I have limitations of movement and mobility, and I have a lot of flares and a lot of days where my nerves do not send the right signals. I do not get around well. My mobility is very not occurring. It's just not happening. And so I finally relented and said, okay, I will try this medication. And I was terrified to try it because of all the negative I'd seen. But there are a few brave women that have put their stories online, and that is what swayed my decision. And now I'm doing great. I'm 6 weeks in, and I'm probably around 20 pounds down. And that's a great rate for me because I want to do this slowly so that it stays off. Most of it is just a boundary to help teach me what my new limitations are, and to stabilize my sugar, which is also messed up with this disorder and the flares, and just it messes with the chemical composition of my body, my hormones, everything. But because people were brave enough to share their story, I thought, well, I'm going to share mine. And from a channel that has been around here for about 4 years and maybe seen 3 trolls, and after I started sharing my Mounjaro journey, the trolls came out of the woodwork.